Good. All right, come here. You gonna stand right here? Yep. Everybody's in it. See that? Yep. I'm getting in there. Okay. He was doing the show on rock with the water pouring up. If you mess up, you ain't getting out this room.
Ready? I like that.
Go ahead. Do it again. Don't move your eyes.
And we're back at Abyssinian Baptist Church at a tribute to the great Earl, Speedo, Carroll. And we had a young gentleman here. What is your name, my brother?
My name is Al Hanfield.
Al Hanfield. You're from Chef's Limelights, right?
Chef's Limelight.
How long were you with the Chef's Limelights?
Oh, since 1970.
Oh my goodness. What's your memories of Earl, Speedo, Carroll?
Not only was he a hell of a performer, but he was a beautiful human being. And a very funny charismatic guy. You know, he used to keep me laughing. One thing he always used to say, show me the money. If the money was funny, Speedo didn't go wrong.
He will make sure he has it in that pocket.
He made sure he got that money. We did a show at Boys and Girls High one time.
Okay.
And the money ran out. They didn't have enough money to pay everybody.
Yeah.
And the Cadillacs were sitting in the dressing room. They had their money. Didn't even go on stage, but he got paid. So I learned a very valuable lesson from that man. Get the money first.
50% now on the day of the show.
Get it all.
No, glad he paid Tuesday for a hamburger today, huh?
That's right. That's right.
You're not running a whippy here.
So my condolences to the family. May they find comfort, peace of mind, and their memory of him, because he was truly one of the great ones.
Chef, he had a lot of...
I'm Al.
The Chef's Limelight.
Fortunately for me, I was fortunate enough to sing at the original Limelights when Shep passed away. They hired me as their lead singer, so I've been doing it since 1970. But I've been singing since the 50s.
Oh, okay. You know, I remember they had a song. Chef had rock, baby, rock,
yeah.
rock, baby, please and please don't stop. Rock, baby, rock, and rock it and roll it.
Yeah.
That is big hit.
Rolling all night long.
Oh my goodness.
And the rhythm and the blues in. Yeah.
Oh.
Rocking and rolling. Yeah. And the rhythm and the blues in.
Daddy's home. He did it. Are you still currently performing right now?
We always still performing. We was on the PBS show. As a matter of fact, I'd like to come and be on your show.
We're going to talk right afterwards. We would love for you to come on the show.
Perhaps I can get the boys to come. We can be on your cable show.
Okay.
They can see us live.
Okay. We're going to give you exposure and we'll give you as much as we can for you.
And if you know anybody can give us some gigs, that would help too.
Oh yeah, well, we'll work on that too.
That's the main thing. While we still got it, we want to do it.
Yes. I would like to thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
And this is Lenny. We're from the LMS Extra Show.
And this
Our
is
tribute.
Hanfield from the Limelights. See you soon.
That is home. I can't hold. I'm his signature. I'm just 1,000 miles away. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The first time I met Speedo was, I have to say, around 1964. And we were traveling with, at that time I was working with the Spinners, and he was working with the Coasters. And we were doing a show, we were doing, I guess you might call it the chitlin circuit.
Okay.
We went from theater to theater, Apollo to Uptown and Regal. And we were doing, let's say, 10 days shows. And Speedo, the thing I remember about Speedo that was so impressive to me was his attitude and his entertainment.
He had a lot of professionalism in him.
He had so much professionalism in his appearance. You know, he always was the consummate entertainer. The top hat and the cane was, I mean, that's a symbol of the great entertainer, and I will always remember Speedo for that.
Willie D, Billy, you don't see too much of that today, do you?
No.
Why?
No, we don't see that kind of. Well, I think today let's say the style of music has changed until it's not the kind of thing that the kids are into. You know, they're not into that kind of entertainment. They didn't come from that old school of entertainers what had that top hat and the cane, and the song and dance type man thing. You know, now it's a little different. I think.
But you had to you had to work that routine back then too, right?
You had to work a routine back then. Now you had
You had to have a gimmick.
You had to have a gimmick. Yeah. So Speedo and his group definitely had it. It was always a pleasure being around him. He was always a gentleman. He was always like I said, a consummate entertainer. I'm sure he's going to be missed in the entertainment world. Definitely.
You know, the last time I remember I saw him was recently. I was watching a old DVD of the PBS special with the doo-wop. He came out there and he just went out there. He just went out and took care of business. He just went to work.
Oh yeah, I saw that same show. Yeah, and again, like you said, you would see him. Once you see him, you see a consummate entertainer there. He's,
when the children, you know, when the PS 87 in Manhattan came up, and he worked at this school. What was your impression of what the children and not children, what the people were saying, like the teachers and everybody, the staff working there, about him? They said he always was working with the children.
Yes, we're working with the children. Today, hearing what the Reverend said as well.
Yes.
You know about what happened to people. You know, who are they? Someone's going to be asking that question someday. I think that. His rapport with the children and what he accomplished, and the other work that he did besides the stage entertainment is a credit to the kind of individual the person really was. You know, so I think that when you look up his history, you're going to have to do the whole picture of this person to really know what kind of person that this person is, and you'll see not only a great entertainer, but also a great humanitarian, a great person in general.
Will you miss him?
I will certainly miss him because, I mean, like watching the shows and saying, you know, even though we hadn't worked together on stage since the early 60s, but I surely will miss seeing him, you know, because I enjoyed seeing him on the PBS special, and it just, like they say, you know, someone might say, who are you? But he gotta say that, you know. They often call me Speedo, but my real name is Mr. Earl. Okay.
Billy Nichols from the Do It Till You're Satisfied fame, and Millie Jackson asked me for what you want. Thank you for joining us on the LMS Extra today, and you know you're always welcome, my brother.
Thank you so much.
You take care. Thank you so much.
Speedo was such a gentleman, such a gentleman. I worked with Speedo when he was with the Coasters.
Yes.
And they used to do the song, they always call me Speedo, but my real name is Mr. Earl. They used to do that on stage. But, you know, he was the most beautiful, spirited person I ever wanted to meet. No negativity, no anger.
No attitude?
No attitude. He just was such a beautiful, beautiful man. That's why I'm here today. Because he was so, so beautiful, and he was gifted, could sing his behind off, but he had such a genuine, beautiful personality, you know, and I just can't believe he's gone, you know, because he's not that old, you know.
No.
But all I can say is good things about him, and I'm so glad I got to work with him. I'm so glad I got to see him as a young girl, and I just worked with him about 2 years ago. You know, we were doing a doo-wop show together, and he was a gentleman all the way. That's all I could say. He's a beautiful person.
Briefly, you worked with Phil Spector, right?
Yeah, I did the Do Run Run, and then he kissed me with Phil Spector, the Christmas songs, everything I did with Phil.
Oh, okay, because when he needed that voice, you know, I was reading this book of The Wrecking Crew, and they talk about the musicians who was behind you, and when he needed that voice for that Do Run Run, he tried everybody. Said, oh, this ain't working. Let me go get La Brooks. He went out and got you, right?
Yeah, well, I started with the Crystals when I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah, and
we started in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn.
From
All of us started from Brooklyn. Yeah.
You started at 73, right?
I went to school PS 73. Yes.
On Rockaway Avenue.
Yeah.
And McDougal Street, right?
Yeah.
And there was, I think it was a young lady by the name of Henry was with you.
Miss Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Miss
think
Henry
her.
recognized me. She was in my school.
Yes.
And then she heard me rehearsing and doing something later, and then she came down, and I went to group when I was 13.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you currently doing now?
Well, I just finished doing a show in Long Island. I just finished coming back from Spain.
Okay.
I just finished coming back from Calgary, Canada. And now I'm doing an album. I have 3 more songs to do, and I'm finishing an album.
You know, I remember one night I was listening to CBS FM, that Don K. We had the Do-Up show, and I believe you were on there. Were you on there?
Yeah, I was on there doing
and you had a song with Bobby Womack.
Oh,
and it was that record. Oh, I love that record.
I did that with Bobby Womack. I was living in Vienna
Yes.
at the time, and I flew out to California. And me and Bobby go way back. He's like my brother. And we did Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, babe.
Yes.
Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing. Bobby and I did it, and it's a great song.
Yes.
It just was released in Europe. It didn't get released here.
Right. You mentioned that.
Bobby did the hell out of that song.
And there was another song too that you did too, right?
Oh God, there were so many things.
So yeah, there was. So I remember this. It was. Oh,
I worked with a lot of Isaac Hayes, Brooke Benton.
I love Brooke Benton.
Oh, years ago. Oh, so many people I've worked with in the business. I'm really fortunate. You know.
The sound today. What do you? Because what the music today? What's your impression of today's music?
Well, it's not what it was in the '60s. You know, and you have to realize that everything stems from the '60s that you hear today. They're sampling everything. The hip hop is sampling and things like that. So, you know, I love the music of the '60s, and you know, but there's some good things out there.
There's some good stuff, but it's so hard for them to get on the air now.
Yeah, I know it's very difficult. But you know, I listen to all kind of music, and
Yeah.
I guess I'll continue.
That broadens your mind too, in music you put together
Yeah,
too, right?
I don't stop listening to music.
Yes.
You know, because all of it comes from someplace.
Right.
You know, whether it's a spiritual place, whether it's '60s, whether it's funk, rock, pop, you know, and country. All of it comes from, you know, our era, and all of it comes from sometimes slavery.
Right. Yes.
You know, I mean, what do you call it? Country music comes from gospel.
Right.
You know, jazz comes from gospel.
Yes.
You know, I mean, a lot of things comes from our ancestors. You know,
Yes.
that people are not aware of. You know.
I would like to thank you so much for taking time,
Thank you very much.
and the best to you, and let us know when that album comes out. Okay.
I sure will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. We're here at Abyssinian Baptist Church for a tribute to Earl, Speedo, Carroll. And I cannot close this out until I get to my main man, Otis Walls. Tell us a bit about yourself, Otis.
Well, listen, you know, I'm a singer, dancer, MC a lot of shows, you know, in the community. Right now, this is a special occasion to see my man Speedo. The music still is alive, and I'm doing a lot of things in the community, but I'm just here celebrating with everybody else. And I just can't wait to get back on the stage again, you know, so everything is going all right. So.
You work with Speedo?
Well, I did some MCing for Speedo at the board. Last show we did was at the Boys and Girls High School.
Okay.
And with the Cadillacs, and we had the teenagers.
Okay.
We had Willie Winfield and the Hot Tones, Earl Smith from the Chantels.
Okay.
So every time a show come up in Brooklyn, I'm available, you know. I'm one of the MC, been around a long time, and I'm building up my clientele. But also with a singing group called Creative Energy. We do a cappella, 50s and 60s a cappella, that's what we do.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I do my little thing socializing, but I also work in the community too. I'm part of it.
Oh, I'm messing up your little tape.
That's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Well, it's like a little interruption, but no problem. It's
problem.
okay anyway, yeah.
But your memories of Speedo, you say he was a good person to work with?
Well, Speedo and I tried to dance with Speedo. I couldn't touch the man. The man had fast wheels. Yeah, okay, I'll be there. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Yeah. I always remember Speedo trying to dance with this guy, and he'd been around longer than I did. I tried to hang out with him. I said, man, my feet was not fast enough. But the thing about Speedo, he loves by everybody. His charisma, his excitement, you know, his clowning around. He always liked to clown around and have fun with everybody. So that's the love Speedo had from everybody. My thing with Speedo is when he entertained and I entertain. When I MC for this guy, he's one of the best performers you ever seen.
He gave you your money's worth, huh?
Right. Well, from Harlem, and also being a custodian, I mean, he entertains everybody, the little kids, the young adults, and senior citizens and everybody else. So, you know, he's going to be missed, but we're going to be doing an honor of him next year. We're going to start our first anniversary of Speedo, and we're going to have some of the entertainers come out and perform.
Oh, that would be good. That would be excellent.
So I'm going to be one of the MC, and maybe we try to get Bobby J to come down and do something, you know? So I'm looking forward for something like that with the family, and I talked to the family about it. They're interested in having something special for him.